After years not being diagnosed with ADHD, I finally got my diagnosis at the age of 40. And when I got it, I did not want to do any medication at all. I was determined to find different alternatives to actually use a medication. This is what I did for those 4 years that helped me manage my ADHD. The first thing I was super excited that actually helped ADHD is exercise, because I have been exercising all my life, whether it's basketball, running, going for a swim, whatever it was. I didn't realize it helped ADHD the 40 years before that I was undiagnosed. It was helping me all that time. And so when I found out it helps, I was really excited about that, because I knew that if I wasn't taking medication, at least this was one way that I could get some dopamine and that would help with ADHD. And personally for me, I love a gym workout, but you can do whatever kind of exercise that you want, just as long as you get up and move your body. That is the most important thing to help you get the benefits of exercise. And something else that really helps me is to actually change my environment. I get tired of being in my house or apartment. I want to be somewhere else because it's going to motivate me just because it's someplace new. Maybe I go to Starbucks and work there on, whatever I need for work or for school, whatever. Maybe instead of working out at home or working out in the gym, I go to the park and walk around the park and just see some trees, some squirrels, and just some animals or whatever, maybe even the lake. And that is just something that makes it a new experience. So that's going to help generate dopamine and actually helps me to stay motivated, because now it's just not the same thing day in and day out. And here's something else I was super excited to learn is that sunshine actually helps to improve the mood and keeps me happy. And I was excited to learn that because I'm from the Sunshine State, Florida. I lived there for 20 years, got a whole lot of sunshine. Didn't realize it was helping to keep my mood up, and I do feel better when it's sunny outside instead of the gloomy kind of rainy, cloudy cover. So I was so happy to learn that actually just being outside in the sun can help. And one of the first things that everybody recommended to me when I got diagnosed is do mindfulness. And I tried mindfulness. It's good. I just can't make my mind stop racing around trying to just sit and meditate and do mindfulness. So what I do instead is just do things that help me to pause. For example, I get ready to make that decision to buy something. Before I do that, if I still want that thing the next day after 24 hours, then I'll buy it. Or I do things like one in, one out, which means every time I want to bring an item into my home, I have to get rid of something out of my home as well. It helps to keep my home decluttered. Or I go into a room and before I even think about anything else, I stop and just become aware of my environment before I really start just looking around, going around the room. It just makes me be able to look around and really take in the environment. And these are all things that help me pause, and that helped a lot when I got diagnosed with ADHD. And if you want more videos like this, then go ahead and click the subscribe button for me so you don't miss any videos. And I was really happy to learn that certain foods are brain foods that can help with ADHD. And I was already kind of into healthy eating anyway. And so I went and tried to figure out, okay, what things can I eat that help me have better memory and things like that. Blueberries are just like one of my favorite things. I did always eat healthy before the age of 30. I just ate anything. The other thing about it is my kind of healthy eating is that I want to make something in 15 minutes or less. So all my meals are simple, really simple meals, one or two steps, one or two ingredients. Chicken and rice is always good. And it's just a matter of, can I fix it in a short amount of time? And that way I know that it's not going to be a big, long meal or a big, long process when I go to cook, and it makes me more motivated to actually cook as well. And do you love snacks like I do? I love eating different snacks, but I cannot have the processed and sugary foods and junk food in my home. I had to get rid of all of it and replace it with healthy snacks. Otherwise, I end up grabbing the junk food and eating way too much of it. And so that's another thing that I did that helps me to stay with the healthy eating. And how good are you at keeping track of time? I'm not really good at keeping track of time, being aware of time, not my strong suit, so I need help. And what I do is have timers like this. This is a visual timer, so you see the color on here. The color tells you how much time that you actually have set, and then as it disappears, it tells you how much time you have left as well. The other thing is you can get whatever kind of timer you want. You get a timer on your cell phone. Me, I need like 10 alarms on my cell phone when I try to get somewhere on time, because I keep hitting the snooze on the alarm, so I need multiple ones to keep going off. I need notifications when I have my tablet or computer to make sure I know when the appointment is. All these things help me keep track of time, and they are really essential for making sure I am not late. And I learned pretty quick that I love noise canceling headphones. I have regular headphones that are great, but they just don't cancel out the noise. And all the noise in the environment, a loud environment, just some kind of noise I don't like, can be drowned out by having some noise canceling headphones. Best thing ever you have, get a pair of noise canceling headphones, because that way I feel more comfortable in the environment where I don't have a lot of distractions and noise going on. Helps me to study, helps me to pay attention, helps me just stay on task and focused as well. And one of the first things that I got into, I was like, oh, fidget toys, I am just all in for it. Like the first thing that I just learned about, I was like, oh, I can get a toy that helps me fidget. Great idea. I had the Fidget cube, which is this one, still have it. It was okay. I didn't really enjoy it as much because I just got bored with it after a while. And then I got this thing, which is called the owner roller. And this is great because of the fact that you can just do it like this, just roll it around like this in your hand. And it's just nice, easy to do, fun to do. And it just feels good in your hand, which is great. And it's also really quiet, which is a disadvantage of this thing. This thing actually makes noise. This doesn't. I can do this all day and not make any noise. These are really good and great things to have because a lot of times we just fidget. I know that I always fidget or tap my foot or something like that. And so with fidget toys, it helps me to actually keep my mind off of fidgeting. So I think that's a great thing. And I didn't know this at the time, but just being next to somebody, having somebody in the room can help you get motivated. I never knew what that was called until I actually got diagnosed with ADHD and learned the term body doubling. It's a great thing because now you can just do it online on a Zoom call. Just have someone on there on the Zoom call, have you there where your face is on the Zoom call as well, and you can just work and see each other, and that helps. But having someone in the room with you is even better. And I never realized that just inviting my friend over to study or do some work and how much more work I got done with them in the room, that actually was a motivating factor for me. And then when I figured that out, I was like, this is great because now I can strategically apply body doubling when I need to get some task or activity done. And this just has helped me a lot. And before I got diagnosed, I just thought I was just a really disorganized person. I'm kind of still disorganized, but just to an extreme max of everything was just everywhere. I didn't know where stuff was half the time. I'd put stuff in certain places to like have a routine of going and looking in that place and trying to find it, but it just had no rhyme or reason a lot of times. And so what I did is I made sure I started putting stuff in the place where I use it, and that makes a big difference. This is like a game changer. If you haven't done this, do this, because what happens is I would go to actually do an activity or start on something, and now when I have all that stuff in the place where I use it, easy to go there and not have to worry about going to a different place to wonder if something's there that I need for whatever I'm trying to do. I already know it's all in that one place. Makes things so much easier to find, makes things much easier to know where you need to actually place it back. Greatest thing, one of the easiest and greatest things that you can do to your home. And one of the most important things I found out that I wasn't even sure I had a routine. I do have a morning routine. It is super important to actually have something and just develop it over time. Like for me, I get up in the morning, I drink a protein shake, I cook some eggs, I go take a shower, I brush my teeth. I do all these different things in the morning, and I have like 10 or 15 things I do, and I don't have to even remember them, right? I just kind of go through the motions. Just when I get up, I go and do this and take that and do this other thing. And it just makes it really easy when you have a routine. And you don't start out with like 15 things. I just ended up getting used to doing these 10 or 15 things every morning. And so now I don't have to think about it. And this is super important because then you don't have to sit and think about, okay, do I need to do this? Need to do that? Need to do this? You don't have to do any of that. It's great. And so when you find one or get a routine going, then it's going to be a good thing. I guarantee it's going to be a good thing. Now, the thing about it is you can also do habit stacking. And this is basically what I did to make the routine. You actually do one thing, and then on top of that one thing leads to the next thing, and that other thing leads to the next thing, and then pretty soon you have all these things that you do in a certain order, and all these different things lead to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And this is how you actually get into actually having a routine as well. And what routine or routines do you actually use now that are your favorite? Leave those in the comments. Now, the next thing is cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. Now, for me, because I wasn't doing any medication at the time, CBT really helped. It's just nice to actually be able to talk to someone, express what you're feeling, get some feedback. Now, the thing about it for me is I found someone that was really into actually working with people with ADHD, and not only just people with ADHD, but adults with ADHD mainly. And they had a lot of experience, like 25 years of experience of doing this. And so for me, it was a great situation to find that person, because they had a really good understanding of how ADHD worked. And that made it easier for me to understand more about ADHD and learn more about ADHD. So I think it really depends on if you can find a person that's really good and kind of understands you, that you click with. That's when I think CBT actually really works. So you really have to kind of do your research and figure out what person is going to be the right one for you. And because I refuse to take any medication, I did take supplements. I do take some now. Now, I'm not a doctor, so consult your doctor before taking any supplement, because a lot of times not regulated. What I take now is vitamin D, fish oil, rhodiola, choline, multivitamin, B12 or a B complex, and also I do protein, because protein is actually good for you as well, because your brain's made of needs protein. And so taking a protein shake is actually good for you as well. And here's some supplements I tried that I did not like or didn't do anything for me. Zinc just made me feel bad trying to take it. I don't know what it was. Just didn't make me feel good. L-theanine just makes me super groggy. Gets me to sleep fine. Great for doing that. I wake up the next day and I'm groggy the rest of the day for whatever reason. And then there is nootropics. Now, nootropics are just like these random kind of all these different things wrapped into one little pill. All these different amounts of supplements wrapped up into a pill. It has all these different things. You never know, like, is this, good stuff or bad stuff, or does it have any side effects, or what's this for? Yeah, I need this, but it's also combined with this. It's just so many things wrapped up into one thing that I just opted for not even doing nootropics anymore, because I tried a lot of them. If you want to know which ones I tried, just look at the most popular ones. I tried a lot of nootropics, and they had the same effect as they made me feel bad every time and gave me a headache every time, no matter which one I tried. Some gave me less of a headache. Some gave me more of a headache. Some just made my stomach really upset. So it just was not a good experience. And I would say, if you don't, I would just recommend, and my recommendation is nootropics are not regulated, and it's a combination of multiple supplements, which can be a really risky thing in my opinion. But here's the thing. Could I manage ADHD with no medication right now as I did before? Maybe, I'm not sure. But the thing about it is I started taking medication because of the fact that it just made it a more efficient and a greater effect to focus and everything like that. And if you want to know about when I started to take medication and what medications I took and how they affected me, I have another video that explains the 6 years where I took 5 different medications, and that goes over everything of my experience with those.